shock when we discovered that film. We discovered it in strange cinema because it's a film which was released in little cinemas more or less specialized in sex films. I don't know why, but it's where I saw it in Lyon. In a cinema where you had, still that time, you had a striptease, a real striptease during the intermission. There was those great moments. And I remember the shock that I had in seeing that film. First, the visual shock created by the direction and the photography of Henri Deca, the camera work. You had an impression of discovering Paris at night, the streets at dawn, very early in the morning, the atmosphere of a Paris that we had not seen on the screen. Maybe because of the location, maybe because of the way Melville shot it. And the other thing which was a great surprise, that was the freedom of the storytelling. I mean, Melville could have certain things go much longer than we would have expected. There was something, a completely new atmosphere, a new way of looking at things, which had, I think, a tremendous influence, I mean, of myself as a film buff, but on a lot of people like Louis Malle, like Truffaut, like Chabrol and Godard. Because of my admiration for that film, I wanted to meet Melville, and he became like a kind of godfather. I worked as his assistant. He even came to my parents to ask them to let me do work in the cinema. And I remember working with Melville and finding an atmosphere in his life, in the way he was working, very, very similar to Bob Le Flambeur. Like he was spending half of the day in a room, closed room, completely dark. And at night he would take his big Cadillac or Buick, enormous American car, his huge Stetson, and he would drive me through Paris. We would first go and see 1 or 2 American movies. Johnny O'Clock was one. And then we would go in Montmartre, a lot like Roger Duchesne in Bob Le Flambeur, and he would tell me what happened in the house, I mean, how the Gestapo behaved, how somebody was killed by the police there, that it's a gambling house, it's where somebody betrayed Pierrot le Fou in the corner of the streets, and we would, until 3 in the morning, we would drive through Paris. And when I see the film, and I see the location of Bob Le Flambeur, I remember all those stories.